Good morning, it's December 4th, I'm Jordan Kay, and this morning I'm going to be giving you all a tutorial on the Nike SportWatch. This is a specific piece of technology. It's not as general as some other fitness trackers like Fitbit or Jawbone Up or that type of variety. This is specifically for running. And so what it does is, in the watch part, see it's a little thicker than your average watch. There's a GPS in there. In the GPS part, it links with 3 satellites in the sky, and then when it links, it can like triangulate your position on the Earth. And so while you're running, it can track your distance, your speed, your average pace, your current pace, and then other things that are included: calories burnt, a stopwatch, and yes, it can tell the time. People ask me that one as well, along with a couple other things. So let me take you through the menu here. Alright, there you can see the time. So these 2 buttons on the side, they interact with all the options. So clock, in the clock menu you can obviously change the date and time, set an alarm, turn your alarm on and off, and if you don't need any of those things, you can hit done and it takes you to the clock. Hitting this gets you back to the menu. The run option is when you do want to go on a run. You can hook this can hook up with additional peripherals to improve its capabilities. GPS is the GPS function to connect to the satellites in the sky. The shoe pod is it is a small pod that you put in your shoe, so if you lose satellite connection, you can continue running and it will be not as effective as the satellites or accurate, but it will be a better replacement than not having either. Heart rate monitor, self-explanatory. You can hook one of those up to it just for an additional statistic of if you want to train with your heart rate. And then this is, if you go to the options menu within this menu, you can change how it records your laps. So I have my laps every kilometer, it'll beep and tell me my time, but you can change it to miles. You can change it to whatever you want, and then that menu is also the menu where you can add a new sensor. So if you just got a heart rate monitor, you can add it there and stuff like that. And then I'll show you the run later. I'll show you how to connect. History is nice. That's where you can go to see all your past runs. And then so when you click on a run, it'll give you some statistics. So this run I did for 40 minutes and 7 seconds. It was 5.5 miles. My average pace was a 7-minute and 16-second mile. And then I burnt 623 calories. There's some different... this one I wore my heart rate monitor, so you can tell that I ran for 27 minutes, did 3.2 miles. The bottom stat right there, beats per minute, so I average 153 beats per minute. So yeah, that's just another convenient stat. The watch can store up to 100 runs, so once you've done your 100th and 101st run, it will delete it off the watch, but it won't delete your run, because the watch, I'll get to the syncing part in a little bit after I go through these things, but the watch can store these on the computer. So records, it just stores your best. So total miles, this is how many miles I've run with the watch. My fastest kilometer that I've run with the watch, fastest 5K with the watch, and fastest 10K. My farthest that I've gone, 14 miles, and then and then stopwatch. So stopwatch obviously can take your splits, so that's nice. Okay, so now getting to another part of the watch. So it connects around the wrist. You find how big your wrist is, and then there's pegs, and they just click into the hole, so it stays nice and secure. Most watches, you have the loop that slides down and you put the other end through. This covers that. There's no like bouncing of the strap or anything. It stays nice and tight. That's very nice. And another nice feature about it is, as I mentioned earlier, the 101st run. it will delete off the watch. Well, you don't really have to worry about that, because in order to update the satellite, positions in the sky, you have to plug your watch in so it can find the satellites that are in the correct hemisphere for us, or else it could be looking for ones in China or Australia or wherever. So plugging it into the computer updates the satellites, and you do that by right here, the clip. It's got a hinge, and hidden under the hinge is a USB port, so that plugs right into the computer. And that will upload all your runs onto a nice user interface on the web, and then it will also download current satellite positions, so you can link your watch to the satellites quicker. So now I'm going to show you how to link this to the satellites so you can run with it. The first way is to go to the Run menu, and then once you have all your correct peripherals connected, if you want any, then you just hit Continue, and then it starts linking the sensors. And what it shows there is just a little picture of a silly satellite, and it shows 3 blinking bars. The blinking bars are how many satellites it's connected to, and it needs to connect to all 3 in order for it to be accurate. That's how triangulation works. So right now all 3 are blinking, which means it is not connected to any of them. Sometimes there will be one solid bar or a bar that's not moving, and then 2 blinking, meaning that there's only 2 connected, or there's only 2 not connected and 1 connected. And you saw there it was linked and then it was unlinked. That's just because we're inside. It gets poor connection, and that's where the shoe pod would come in handy. If you're running in a city and like the buildings can obstruct the view, the shoe pod comes in handy in order to continue your run without losing the link. Yes, so that's nice. But yeah, so here we're ready, and then so when you start the run, obviously we're not moving, so nothing's happening. But the top one is your pace, the big main one is your distance, and on the run you can scroll through. So for a different number on the top, so you can see how long you've been running. You can see the time of the day in case you have to be home by whatever time. You can see your pace, and so you see when you have the heart rate monitor connected, it will show the heart rate. You can choose to not see calories. You can choose to see calories. There's many options within that. And then so to end the run, you can pause by hitting the button, and then it will show you shuffle through your stats. So if you get stopped at a stoplight or something, you can pause it so you don't go down with your pace or anything if you're trying to keep a pace and you don't want it to be skewed because you were stopped. And so you can continue. But so when you are done, hit end, or you can hold it for the 3 seconds like I did. And then it'll show you a quick summary of how far you went, how fast you went, and how many calories you burned, and how long it took. And then it stores it. So now if we go to history, our most recent run is going to be the run we just completed, which isn't too good, but we'll take it. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit about the Nike SportWatch.